Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, this channel is all about my journey throughout CRNA school. So today's video is going to be on how to make your CV/resume. If you guys are interested, let's get into the nitty gritty. So I'm sure that if you're applying to school, there's going to be a section on your application that says that you need to upload a CV or a resume. So the CV and resume that I wrote for getting into CRNA school was just slightly different than the CV that I just did now for graduating CRNA school. Haven't graduated yet, but my professor wanted us to make a CV that looked like something that we would use upon graduation, and I just wanted to cover some of the things that I think that you should hit on for your CV, and like kind of formatting and what it should look like. So first things first, I feel like if you're gonna have your CV and a cover letter, stating why you're applying or your interest in the position, they should look the same. So try to keep the formatting the same between the CV and the cover letter. That just looks neater, nicer, more professional, I guess, if you have the same formatting for both. Hi, sir. For the CV, I'm not gonna go into cover letters now. I was just kind of wanted to mention that point about keeping everything the same. For CVs, you want to have your personal information, your name, your address, your email address, your phone number. These are all points of contact that they can use to send you either mail, or they could send you email, or they can give you a phone call if they're interested in having you for the position or having you come back or whatnot. So I recommend that if you're going to use your email, that it should be a professional email, maybe just name.surname at whatever platform you use.com. I wouldn't try to use emails that you use when you were a kid, like Hottie123. That's not professional. So even if you don't have an email, try to make one, and one that you access often. So if you don't have an email that has a professional beginning, then just make one on Gmail real quick and use that for your CV, so that it actually looks like you like you have professional intentions when you go to work for that position. So now that we've covered the header, let's talk about objectives. So sometimes you can have on your CV an objective section where you kind of state, similar to a cover letter, your intentions, like your interest in a position in a particular field, how you plan on applying your, level of education, and your skill set to a particular job. Try to make it concise, not more than 1 to 2 sentences, something that just is a highlight of what you're doing and what your intent is for your CV. Next section I like to go into is education. I like to start with education before I start with experience, because I feel like you can't get your experience unless you have an education in terms of fields that use degrees, So what I do is I state from most recent degree to, like I stated in chronological order, from most recent to oldest degrees. And I try not to leave out any degrees, because let's say I actually did a bachelor's before I did my nursing degree. I went back and did an associate's in nursing, and then I did a bachelor's in nursing. But if I only posted, that I did a bachelor's in biology and a bachelor's in nursing, it looks like I graduated much later than before I started the profession. So I like to state every single degree that I got. I don't try to add like little tidbits about each one. I try to just do the degree, the location of where I got it from, the years that I graduated, maybe if I got a like dean's list or whatnot, and the just the actual major, and that's about it. So I keep them usually about 1 to 2 lines for each education section. I try not to like harp on details within that. I just try to keep it very simple. Then after that is when I go into the experience section. So here I actually have a lot of nursing jobs. So I find that if you have a job that's relevant to the field that you're going to be applying to, let's say you're going to be doing like a nurse management position, or you're going to do an APRN position, CRNA position, then I would only use jobs that are relevant to what you're getting into. So like for me, I feel like I did NICU to get into CRNA school, so I made sure to add that. But I did transport as well, which I felt like was also relevant. I did, mother baby, I put it there just to state that I've been in that same location for the last 6 years. So like I guess longevity as well, because I want to be applying to that same hospital when I graduate. So it just, to me, it looks like everything has a purpose. Even though my mother baby position didn't help me get into CRNA school, I feel like it just shows that I've been at that same hospital for that many years, so that way it shows continuity. But I wouldn't put in there, you know, summer camp counselor, swim instructor, you know, karate coach or whatever. I just feel like it should be important to you, to your field. I guess if you can maybe rationalize why you need those positions, you can, like leadership, or you know, that you're able to manage a lot of extracurriculars, then go ahead. But I personally feel like it should be limited to nursing only. As far as the job experience, I don't think I mentioned that. I like to put some relevant bullet points that I feel that emphasize the CV in a way that, you know, educates the person reading it as to what I did in those professions. I mean, sometimes it's kind of obvious, you know, like I was a nurse in this department, but you can try to mention things that you think that would be relevant for the job. Like I did a per diem. I did a separate per diem, just that I saw a different population base. So I tried to put bullet points for the job sections that I feel like are important. Nothing too lengthy, and just to make sure that the formatting all looks the same, but that's about it. Another thing you can also list on your CV or resume is your license. You can put there licensure / certifications, or if you want to have it separate, you can. Just make sure that you put your RN license and the board that you have your license accredited from. So if you have the Florida Board of Nursing, just put that, Minnesota Board of Nursing, whatever, and just state, like, you know, when your expiry is for that. And then for certifications, you know, your ACLS, your BLS, PALS, NRP, what have you, you could put it there as well. If you're certified in a specific field, like if you have your CCRN or your or any other type of certification exam, you can put it in that section. Just put there when it's gonna expire as well. And then as far as memberships and stuff like that, like I like to mention things that I feel like will emphasize my resume. So I was like, we had a charge nurse committee, and I was I guess the night shift president for that. So you can use that to show leadership. Memberships as well, like if you're in the like AACN, A1, AANA, whatever memberships that you pay for monthly, just mention them, and then don't just have them under your belt. You know, if they ask you about them, just say that you read up on the most recent literature and you keep up with evidence-based practice. You know, that's the best you could do. Lastly, I like to put in there some sort of, like, if you've gotten awards, publications, then you just put that in the last section there. I personally don't have any yet. I do hope that I can publish my DMP project for CRNA School, so I can have some sort of publication, because I've actually wanted to have more publications so that it looks like, you know, the publication section and the awards section isn't so skimpy. But you know, this is going to be a terminal degree after I get this job. It really doesn't matter, but it would be nice if my DMP project got published. But anyway, that's pretty much all the sections. But let me just do a quick overview real quick. I've been just mentioning, like, section by section what I think is important and how it should be stated, and then I'll go harp on a little bit about the formatting. Just try to keep the font to be something manageable, like an Arial or a Times New Roman. Nothing too small, nothing too big, you know, depending on what you need to fit into a space. Maybe about 10 to 12 point font would be fine. Try to make sure that you have the headings for each section bold or in a different color, and then subsections either bold or in italics, so that way you can delineate what section is what section is what. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say for CVs and resumes. I just feel like as long as you can get your point across, that's the best thing that you can. Try to keep it between 1 to 2 pages. More than that and it becomes a paper and nobody wants to read that. So yeah, that's it for this video, guys. I hope you liked it. I hope it helped, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.